Welcome to the podcast Behind the Counter with your host, me, Heidi Blum, also known as the Food Czar. I'm a born and bred Livingston, New Jersey mom of 3, and I have seen firsthand over the past few years how food and the people behind the counter can bring a community together. We all have a story and we all have an appetite. Each episode will explore the thread between food, people, and community and the stories that weave them all together. So I hope you're ready to get behind the counter and dig in. Here we go.
This is Behind the Counter.
Beyond the counter.
With the Food Czar. Here's Heidi.
So without further ado, my first guest is Gabriella Ottaianno from Calabria's. And the reason I chose Gabriella is because when COVID hit in March of 2020, and all of us were sitting around trying to figure out what was going on, for some reason, Calabria's knew how to pivot. They knew how to pivot right away. My son was working for Calabria's, and he would send me a flyer every day of family meals that were not expensive, and you could add in a bottle of wine and dessert. I mean, they knew what the community needed at the time when the community didn't even know what they needed.
Right.
And that is where a czar was born, the Food Czar. That's how this whole thing really
to get
started.
The word out.
So
it was hard because you're using your platform, your own platform, but you're only reaching the customers that you have. So by you posting it, it's getting out there so that there's other people that maybe don't follow us are now seeing it because you're posting it. It's getting out and people are sharing it.
Yeah. I mean, I was like a posting animal at the time, but at the end of the day, Gabriella has become quite the social media entrepreneur or connoisseur or whatever word you're using.
With you guys. I didn't even know if it worked, to be honest with you.
But how did you know when COVID hit? How did you know how to pivot to that? That you said family meals with a flyer, because you didn't have that before.
If I could tell you, I don't know how it happened, but it just happened. Like I was literally seeing, people see like restaurants and stuff like that. They don't realize that, you have certain numbers you need to hit. And when you're not making those numbers, you're just like, wait a second, this is really happening. Like, what's going on here? When you have a steady flow of people coming in, you open your door, your phones are ringing. But then all of a sudden, everything's slowing down. People are scared. People are not leaving their house.
And your staff, too, right?
And the staff. And everybody's, like, worried about, like, what's going on? Am I going to have a job? Like, we're not making what we're doing. And, you start thinking of things. And to be honest with you, it just started with, like, I seen people struggling. And I was literally laying in bed, and I'm like, I asked my dad, I was like, Dad, I need to come up with something, because they were like done. They were ready to retire. They're like, we're done. I don't need this, And I was telling a story, like, I just got married.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you didn't even go on your honeymoon yet, right?
No.
You got canceled.
The night of.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, a week later, am I going to have a job?
Yeah.
I didn't know. And it's tough, but I thought of the meal. Heidi, I don't know what made me think of it. I asked my dad, I was like, I need to think of something where, we're still making money, but at the same time, it's going to hurt a little bit, but, I think that if we sell enough of them, we'll make our money, So,
I mean, your staff,
it.
I would think, your staff is your community. That's like your family, right?
I needed to do whatever. Like, they were out of ideas. They didn't know what to do. They were just like, oh, all right, that's it, No. So when you have, like, 40 employees that depend on you, you need to think of something like, what are we going to do? So I posted it on Facebook. It was on a Sunday.
Yep.
I was just, like, around, like, 7 in the morning. Next thing you know, we're like, oh, let's just come in early. My cousin calls me, and he's like, can I curse?
I think you can curse. Yeah, I don't think
like,
there's no
holy
beep.
shit.
Yeah, no, yeah.
You need to get here right now. And I'm like, why? He's like, the fax is going crazy, the phones are going crazy, there's people out the door. I'm like, dude, it's like 7:30, nobody's, like, we're not even open.
Yeah.
He's like, what the fuck did you put on there? And I'm like, and my husband's like, are you crazy posting something like that? I was like, listen, we just have to do it. So in 40 years, they never said, stop taking orders.
Yeah.
Stop taking orders.
Yeah, you would sell out of the orders,
in
the
like
fan
2
mails.
hours. We had people from PA and New York, and your son was here.
Yeah.
He was like,
It was crazy.
what do I tell these people? I'm like, that's it. We're done.
How was business before that?
So
Actually, let's go back for a second.
before like
But
COVID.
I was going to say before COVID, but I was going to say let's take it back for a second. So Calabria's was originated in 1980.
Yes.
Right? Your first location was at next to ShopRite.
Where Viva Guacamole is
Yep,
now.
yep.
So we were there for 10 years, and then we moved to this location, which wasn't as big.
Yeah, it was a little
Used to
White
be-
House.
Yes,
Yep.
it used to be the Deli Gerardo's.
Yep.
And then in 2000, they made the renovations. They put the addition, and then we opened up. So this has been like this since 2000.
Wow.
So 23 years ago.
Yeah.
So a total of 43 years.
So, I mean, I grew up going to, my kids grew up going to Calabria's. I went to Calabria's. 1980, I mean, I'm not sure how old I was, a teenager.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Calabria's was here. I mean, so it was always, like, to me, you probably, in my eyes, business was always probably very steady and stuff like that.
In the beginning, like, you're making your money, you're steady. But then as things start changing and, you know, new stuff, people start opening up, you need to step up your game.
Yeah.
So, you know, I really was never involved in the social media.
Yep.
I never did the social media.
Yeah.
So after I took over the social media, I started messing around with it to see, like, am I getting responses? Like, I didn't know. And it just so happened that, like, I don't know, I started posting like crazy.
So here's the cool thing. Well, so I'm jumping around a little bit, but so Dave Portnoy comes.
So the
Was
story
that was after COVID.
this was way after.
Yeah.
So that was in January when he came. But what happened, the reason why we blew up was because we started doing the family meal.
Yep.
And then I saw that stuff wasn't getting better. And then there I am on a Sunday. I posted, I was like, shit, things are getting really bad. Like, there's people out there that, like, obviously can afford, you know.
Yeah.
They're coming for help. And I'm just like, you know, those people are like, things are getting bad. Like, they're very bad. So I posted on Facebook, if you need any help, no questions asked, come here. And that's how we started donating meals.
Right.
That same day. So I posted that in the morning.
I
That
remember
same
you
day.
would bring the meals also to the churches and stuff like that. Yeah.
So around like 11 o'clock, my father calls me. And he says to me that CBS 2 News is on the phone looking for you. He's like, what did you do? I was like, nothing. I just posted on Facebook.
What did you do? Yeah.
Yeah, because he was concerned.
Yeah.
And that was it. They came, they filmed. Then Eyewitness News called. They put me on. And then about maybe like 2 months later, we're doing our thing, donating. The family meals are working. We're busy. Everyone's, you know, steady. The Today Show calls. The Today Show's like, we've been following you. We want you on your show.
That's crazy.
On the show. So they asked me, they gave me a list of places of where we've donated. So for people to say like, oh, we donated here, here, and there,
Yeah.
you can't BS that.
Yeah.
They went there.
Yeah. You have to do the check. Like the
They
background
went
check.
there
Yeah.
to see like, hey, did she really do all this stuff? Because when they put me on camera, the director of the shelter gets on.
Oh, and says, oh, they've been
And
amazing.
The whole
They really, yeah.
families, they kept showing all the families that were getting the meals, and they're saying thank you. And that's why, like, your son's like, you better not cry again. I'm like, dude, you don't
I have
understand.
to say,
I'm so emotional.
you know what's so funny is
I'm not an emotional person.
like to me, you were always a little. I hope this you don't find this whatever, but
Yeah.
like you're tough. So
No.
but
Something
I
got
will
to me.
attest that you are not so tough.
No.
You're a softie.
Yeah.
I think a lot of this. I think the responsibility of
really-
it. Yeah.
I don't cry for anything,
Yeah.
but for some reason, like, I can't even watch it. I watched Marley and Me, this movie.
Yeah, the movie that
I
the
was
dogs.
crying
Yeah.
the whole time. My husband's like, what's wrong with you? I was
Yeah,
like,
we're cracking.
I-
We're
I
cracking
just-
you open, Gab. We're cracking you
Yeah,
open. Yeah.
this whole thing was like crazy. So soon after the Today Show, airs, we start seeing on social media that Dave starts liking our stuff. So I'm asking, like, hey, Kush. I'm like, is this real? He's like, yeah, it's real.
Kush would be Matthew, my son. Hey, Kush.
And he's like, yeah, this is real. We have to, like, step up our game. And I'm like, okay, so we're practicing. Next thing you know, boom, comes in.
He just shows up.
It was January 2021. I think around January 15th or something like that. He shows up at 10 o'clock, 10:30 in the morning. We had no idea. And I lost it.
I'm sure.
You know why? Because all the kids here,
Yeah.
they love him. And they're like, we got to get El Presidente here. We have to get him here. And it just like so happened, the power of social media. I'm tagging him.
Yep.
Boom.
Well, and the power of the good you were putting out in the world
It
comes
just-
back to you.
it
You know what I'm
just-
saying? That's what happens.
A lot of people say, like, you know, COVID was the worst years, like the worst time of their life or whatever. It was very scary, but it changed all of us.
Oh, yeah.
And in the good and in the bad, like, we just got together and did whatever we needed
Look,
to do.
I would never have this job. Never be doing this podcast if it wasn't for COVID, and it's brought me more joy than I could have ever imagined. I mean, so it's the horrible while it was happening, but the good that it has brought, and like I said, you put good into the world, Gab, it comes back to you, and that's what I think happened.
He knew everything about us, like where I went to high school, college. He's like, we waited for our 1,000 review to come here, and
That's insane.
that's why I called. I'm like, he's fucking here.
Yeah.
And your son's calling
I
me.
know.
And
He's on the FaceTime. He's on the FaceTime on the video.
Like,
Yeah.
see, so I got him on FaceTime. He's on there, and Dave was like, this isn't going to be the last time you hear from me. And he pulled me aside and he said a few things to me, and he wasn't bullshitting.
Yeah.
I still to this day, we go to headquarters. All the crew comes here. Dave always reaches out to see how
Yeah,
we're doing.
it's amazing.
I've seen Dave already like 2-3 times afterwards.
Yeah,
And I actually spoke to him 2 weeks ago.
that's incredible.
So we built a relationship. And he said to us, he's like, I've never seen anybody do what you did with that number or just like with my review. He's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
because he doesn't need, to be honest with you, you meet him.
If you don't know, Calabria's got an 8.9 for their crunchy thin.
It was a life-changing thing.
And if you drive by Calabria's, it's everywhere. Barstool logo is everywhere. 8.9 everywhere.
Yeah.
And you know what? The pizza's an 8.9. If it's not a 9, in my opinion. It's one of our favorites.
You know, the kids that were so excited, and they're like, to even get a 7, that's good.
Yeah, totally.
So to get the score, it was just insane, and it just.
Well, I think that probably changed, launched your business up.
Oh my God.
Yeah, crazy.
Heidi, you have no idea.
So, it's interesting. There's that Facebook group, Jersey, what is it?
Jersey
Pizza Joints. So, what I notice all the time, and this is the best, is that whether somebody gives you a good review or a bad review,
Welcome to our family.
welcome to our family. That to me is the best. You're like, if somebody says, nah, there was no flop, there was no la la la, all Gabby writes is, welcome to our family.
Yeah.
It's the best response because that's what it is for you, I feel like.
I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, not everyone's going to like it, but as long as they came in, hey, you tried it,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
So if you come back, you come back. If you don't like it, you don't like it.
It's such a good attitude.
I can't force anybody to like our
No.
stuff. You know, you come here for the experience. You come here to be a part of a family. Because to me, if you come to work, I come to work every day. I have to talk to people every day,
Yep.
even if I don't want to.
Yep.
But you need to make it so that it's pleasant for them, that they feel like they're a part of the family.
So, growing up, did you think that this is where you would be?
Since I was a little girl, I've always came to work with my father.
Yeah, I remember you being here.
Since I was little, and I always dreamed to do this.
That's incredible.
I probably was like 4 or 5 years old coming here every day with him, going to the market, because we used to live in Kearney. And he used to pick me up from school, or I don't know how old I was,
Yeah.
whatever. Or if I had the day off on the weekend, we used to go to Newark and pick up the vegetables.
Right.
And then I remember driving in the van with my dad and coming here.
That's so. First of all, how much fun for a kid.
I had so much
Yeah.
joy coming here.
Yeah. I mean, to see your dad happy cooking. I mean, is this where you learned how to cook?
18 years I've been working with my dad.
That's crazy.
18 years. I'll be 31. So
A young 31.
18 years.
That's
So
crazy.
I'm blessed because I don't know. It's good. I like it.
So
I enjoy working with him.
Tell me. So what's your favorite thing to cook here?
To be honest with you, I'm not like everyone's like, what do you love to cook?
Yeah.
I don't have like a favorite thing. Like I'm not.
You just cook.
Yeah. Whatever comes to mind. Like the staff yesterday wanted veal marsala, so I made it last night. They're like,
Yeah.
wow, this is really good, and I'm like, okay. Like
What's the number one ordered pizza? Obviously the crunchy thin, I would say.
all the crunchy thins are number one, big hit, but it's between the plain crunchy thin, upside down, Mike's Hot Honey.
Mike's Hot Honey, yeah.
Those are like our number one.
What about entree-wise?
Penne vodka,
Yeah, my kids love the penne vodka. And they
That's
love
always-
the meatballs, yeah.
and also the pan-seared chicken's very popular.
I still love the Sunday chicken.
That's my favorite.
I love the Sunday
I love
chicken.
chicken on the bone.
I love chicken on the bone, too. It's
Yeah.
so good, yeah.
But, not a lot of people order that, though.
I don't think they know it.
Yeah.
I think you have to know.
The Sunday chicken's the best.
I'll tell you what, my
chicken
favorite...
balsamic is very popular here, too.
Really? My
Yeah.
favorite, which I haven't ordered in so long, was that cauliflower pizza.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
the Big Mac on the cauliflower pizza.
Yeah.
You need to do a Big Mac on a regular pizza.
You know what?
Not as good?
No.
Because the cauliflower crust has the
we're
cheese.
known to, like, our specialty pies are more like buffalo chicken,
Yeah.
barbecue chicken.
Oh, my kids love the buffalo chicken, too.
The Kush pie.
Yeah.
That's spicy ranch.
The Kush pie is named after my son.
Yeah,
I think there
it's
needs to be a
breaded
food czar
chicken.
pie. Food czar pie.
You tell me what, we'll
yeah.
put it in there.
I don't know. I'm going to have to
I
think
actually
about
have
it. Yeah.
a request for your son. I have to make one.
Yeah, he wants it sent by Goldbelly.
Yeah, but I'll send it to
Send
you.
it to me, yeah. There's obviously a lot of pizza places in Livingston, right? I think you guys all know each other. You guys seem to have a nice relationship in terms of, really with all the places in town, right? I mean, everybody knows everybody. It doesn't seem to be a competition. It seems like everyone gets their fair share. Is that true, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You build your own clientele.
yeah.
You know, everyone sticks to their own thing, and you're always, that's how you have to be, because it's not worth to do that. You know, you just end up biting yourself.
Good breeds good, Gab.
You just gotta stick
What
to
if
your own.
you had one food to eat for the rest of your life? What would it be?
Grilled chicken broccoli rabe.
Really? You make that here too.
Yeah, I could eat that every day.
I might want that for lunch.
Okay. I like it. I could eat I could eat that every day.
So, what does family mean to you?
Family, they're there when you need them. And without family, you're nothing. You know, I'm very close with my mom, my dad, my brother. We're very, very close. And you need each other, you know?
Yes, that you do.
Because without them,
It's nothing.
nobody's going to ever nobody will ever treat me like the way my dad treats me. Like, you know?
Yeah,
Even my husband, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's my husband, but
he's not
nobody's
your dad.
my dad.
Yeah, I'm sure you're daddy's little precious girl too.
Yeah, nobody will ever.
He's
he
sitting
always-
over there. He was sitting over there watching, making sure it was
Same
going
thing
okay.
with my mom. She's very tough.
Yeah.
But nobody's my mom. You know, she'll tell me how it is. She'll set me straight. She's very close to my brother. I'm very close with my.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Isn't it funny how it
So
works
if I
out
don't
that
feel
way?
good, I'm like, Ma, I don't feel good. She's like,
Go to your father.
yeah. She'll tell me. She'll be like, There's no
That's hysterical.
not feeling well.
That's incredible. So, if you could say something to the Livingston community, like what does the Livingston community mean to you?
You guys made us. Without you guys, we would be nothing. You know, you supported my family for 43 years. Without the community, you're nothing.
Yeah. Well, we thank you for being here for 43 years.
Yeah.
I mean, you do
Yeah, we're always-
you do all the fundraisers, right? For the schools, for the sports teams, right? You sponsor them. I mean, all of it. I think there's nothing you say no to.
I'm now, like, every morning I wake up, I get emails from, like, schools, Cedar Knolls, wherever we were doing the family meals.
Yeah.
They all call for, like, the donations for the schools. I donated, whatever you guys want. Like, that was a time that we needed help, and everyone needed help, so now's our time to get back again and, go from there.
It's incredible. So how do you think this first episode of Behind the Counter with the Food Czar went?
It's good.
It's all right. We're going to get there.
I think the people would like to get to know the owners and, like, talk to know more about you.
So I think if you want to visit Calabria's, your address is
588 South Livingston Avenue,
Livingston, New Jersey. You can say it at the same time. Your website is Calabria
Calabria's. Now you got me. NJ.com.
And for those of you that don't live in Livingston or the area, you can get the crispy thin pizza at
Goldbelly.com.
And that's not a sponsor, by the way.
Yeah, not sponsored.
Not sponsored,
You can get that on there. Raviolis and our pizzas. There's 5 different types of pizzas on there.
Are they all the crunchy thin, or are they all?
Only crunchy thin.
That's amazing. How's that been? People order? Knock on the table. We're sitting at a table, sort of behind a counter.
It's actually very, that side of the business is very profitable. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. I don't want to say that it's not, but you got to work.
I think if it wasn't a lot of work, I have a feeling you wouldn't be into it. I think you like it.
It was challenging.
So, again, you can find Calabria's at calabrianewjersey.com. You can get a chip, goldbelly.com, or you can visit them in person in Livingston.
Correct.
This is Heidi Blum, your Food Czar, with our first episode of Behind the Counter with the Food Czar, ending our first guest, Gabriella Ottaianno from Calabria's. And I hope you enjoyed learning to know about Gab and learning about Calabria's. And look out for more episodes. You can find me on Spotify and I think Apple, but I'm sure I'll be posting about it. And all I can tell you is with every new episode, I promise to be entertaining. I promise to maybe be informative. I don't know. Hopefully it's something you want to hear about. If not, then find the next episode. This will be the most perfect podcast. That I can tell you. So I hope you had fun. Gab, I hope you had fun.
Great.
Thank you so much for joining me. And we'll see you at the next episode. Bye. If you are hearing this message, I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope you'll return for more episodes. I'm truly grateful for you and this opportunity. The purpose of the Behind the Counter podcast is to bring food, people, and community together. I hope you'll return for more episodes and explore with me. I want to personally thank Fran Linnell of Design 68 for my amazing Behind the Counter podcast logo, and Travis Lowenberg for my awesome Behind the Counter music, and all the guests that take their time to sit and talk with me. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please leave a review on Spotify or wherever you hear your podcasts. If you'd like to support the Behind the Counter podcast, please subscribe, share with your friends and family, and you can follow me on Instagram at Heidi Blum. If you have any feedback or stories that you want to share, you can email me at foodczarbtc@gmail.com.